All right, hello guys. Today we're going to be going over dichotomous keys. Okay, so what is a dichotomous key? A dichotomous key is a tool that is used to identify objects based on their observable traits. Some of the objects that they're used to identify include natural objects like birds, trees, rocks, fungi, insects, animals, all those things. So if you find something out in nature, you don't know the name of it or the scientific name of it, you could use a dichotomous key to help identify it. And we use the observable traits of that object. What does that mean? That means things that we can see off of it. Okay. How many eyes does it have? How many legs does it have? Is it furry? Does it have feathers? Does it have webbed feet? Those are observable traits, things that we can see on its body. What kind of leaves are they? Are they wide? Are they narrow? Are they pointy? Those are all observable traits. It doesn't matter where that organism lives. All we are focused on are its observable traits. What does it look like? What can we see? Okay, so in order to use the dichotomous key, one, you obviously have to look at the object to try to identify it. And the dichotomous key always has statements. How many statements are in each choice? There are two statements for each choice. So that you need to know that for each step of a dichotomous key, you're going to have two different statements. It's going to say, does it have this or does it have that? Okay. And based on your observable traits, you're going to decide which statement matches the object that you've found, and then you're going to look over to the right to see what you're supposed to do next. Sometimes when you start on number one and you see whether it has one of the two statements, you'll automatically get a name for it and you'll be able to identify it. And sometimes it'll tell you to go to step 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, okay? So you may be skipping around depending on what the directions are based on which statement you've selected. Okay, so we're going to look at this minion dichotomous key. Here's your dichotomous key. Again, like I said, for each answer choice, it has two statements. Okay, you're going to need to know that for your test. So what you do is you start off by picking one of your organisms. I'm going to start off with this little minion guy here. And I'm going to start always with number one. You always begin with number one. Okay, so my two statements for number one are the minion has one eye or the minion has two eyes. I'm going to check based off of the observable traits. Again, remember what I can see from the minion, and I'm going to decide which one of these matches my minion. Well, it's going to be 1A. The minion has one eye. That's what matches this little guy here. So I'm going to look over to the right, and it tells me to go to number 2. Okay, so then I'm going to go to number 2. And I'm going to read the two statements that are here. The minion is smiling or the minion is not smiling. I look at the observable trait, what it looks like, and yes, he is smiling. So I'm going to choose 2A. I go over to the right, and it says to go to number 6. Okay, notice it says to go to number 6. That means I skip 3, I skip 4, I skip 5, I go all the way to number 6. You follow whatever direction it tells you for the statement that you chose. So I skipped all of those. I didn't need them. I went to number 6. Okay, my two statements for 6 are the minion is saluting or the minion has his finger on his chin. Okay, those are my two options. Well, if I look here at my minion, I see that his finger is on his chin. All right, so then I go over to the right and it tells me his name is Kyle. Okay, I'm done. I don't have to go to any other numbers. Okay, so this little guy here, his name is Kyle. I've identified him. Okay, let's look over to the second one. And again, I start back at number 1. I have my two choices for number 1. So does the minion have one eye or the minion has two eyes? Well, For this second minion, he has 2 eyes. So I look over to the right, and it tells me to go to number 3. So I skip number 2. I don't need that. My instructions were to go to number 3. So I go to 3. The minion has a toothy smile, or the minion is not showing teeth. Well, I look at this minion's observable traits, and I see that, yes, I see his teeth. So then I look over to the right for 3A, and it says to go to number 4. Okay, I go to number 4. The minion is riding on a rocket, or the minion is standing. He doesn't have a rocket, so he is standing. So I go over to the right of that statement, and it tells me to go to number 7. That means I skip 5 and 6. I don't need them. I go to number 7. I read my 2 statements. The minion has both hands up, or the minion has 1 hand up. Based on this second minion's observable trait, he has 1 hand up. Okay, so that's 7B, and it tells me to go to number 9. So I skip 8, I go to number 9. The minion has his left hand up, or the minion has his right hand up. Okay, well, this is his left. Okay, I'm looking at it on the screen, and on the screen it's on my right, but that's his left hand. So his left hand is up. So then I go over here for 9A. His left hand is up. That's Larry. Okay, this little guy's Larry. All right, so again, you always start at number 1. You look at the observable traits. That means what the organism looks like. I don't care where it lives or anything like that. I care what does it physically look like. When I look at it, what do I see? And I read the 2 statements. I pick which one matches. I read the direction, what it tells me to do, and I go to that next statement that it tells me to go to, or I find the name automatically. It'll tell me the name. That's how you use a dichotomous key.